What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposè coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. And I'm the regular host, Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. Hello and welcome to this edition of Exposè, brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church. I'm honored to always be your regular host, and I'm Akinyemi. Today we are talking about something very interesting. In the field of energy medicine, there are so many tools, devices, that can help in supporting our wellness and well-being. And so today I have a guest on set that I will be interviewing to probe into one of those devices in energy medicine that can actually help in our quest for better health. And so we are honored today to have our guest in the house, Dr. Onyedika. He will tell you about himself, how he started and how he got to this point. From the little I know about him, I know he trained first and foremost as an engineer, like myself. Today, he is into health and wellness. He's a naturopathic doctor. So we'll be having a conversation around this device that he has mastered so well and that he deploys in attending to issues relating to our health and wellness. The device is called NLS. He will be telling you how it is used to analyze people's health and how to also use it in treatment, so to speak. So today, sit back, fasten your seatbelt, tell your friends and neighbors that Exposè has started. Let them join us on YouTube, on Facebook right now, because they don't want to miss this. It's going to be explosive, and I know you will enjoy your time today. I bet you. By the way, if you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, just look at the subscribe button right below this screen that you're seeing and click on it. That's all it takes. Just click and you are subscribed. If you also want to be notified each time Exposè comes up, just click on the notification bell if you're on YouTube. If you're watching us on Facebook, all you need to do is to just like us on Facebook. Even if you don't like me, just like my Facebook channel. And that will notify you whenever we come live, and you will never miss another edition. And by the way, we have so many episodes in our archives. If you have missed any episode in the past, you can always go into the archives and watch it again. You can also share that video in the archive with your friends, colleagues, and family members. And like I always say, you can share even with your enemies. Once they watch it and they are blessed, they will cease being your enemies, they will become your friends. Okay, so back to our discussion today on NLS. We have Dr. Onyedika in the house. You're welcome to Exposè today.
Thank you, sir.
Good to have you here. Our viewers would like to meet you. They'd like to know, who is Dr. Emeruwa? Who is he? Where is he coming from? What is his background? What kind of trainings has he had? And what moved you from your engineering background to your naturopathic field right now? Just tell us in a nutshell, very loud and clear to our people.
All right. I'm Dr. Onyedika Emeruwa, engineering by training, agric engineering precisely, from the Federal University of Technology, Mina, Niger State. I had a flair for machines, and it all happened that after youth service, I found myself in Lagos. I worked in the church as a secretary, and from there I was also doing a side business. When I was to go into a particular business, I was looking for what I can go into. And funny enough, I met an opportunity that was offered to me by my elder sister. My elder sister happens to be a senior nurse in the Jos University Teaching Hospital, Plateau State. And she told me of someone that supplies or buys a particular equipment called quantum resonant magnetic analyzer, quantum analyzer from Ghana. And if I can supply to this woman from Nigeria, then I could cut a good deal and become the sole supplier to this woman, and she's quite big. So I approached the woman and told her I can supply you this machine from Nigeria. So she told me this is the price I get it from Ghana. If you can supply this cheaper than this from Nigeria to me, any quantity you bring, I will pay. I was like, wow. So I just looked at where I could, what quantity that my capacity can supply. I tried to raise the money. The calculation there was about 3.8 million there to supply about 150 pieces. And we entered an arrangement that I will be the sole, she will be the sole distributor to the northern states on this machine. That I should not penetrate anywhere north. I said, fine and good. So she says, give me a sample. If it's okay with me, then we have the deal. I gave her a sample. She said, no, this is too common. I want something different. So I went out there and got another model of the same machine. And she said, okay, we are fine. Okay, we're already at the end of the year. Early next year, we'll start. Early February, she called me and she said, okay, let's do, how many pieces there? I think 30 pieces. 30 pieces. I did not, 10 pieces. I supplied the 10 pieces. It all went fine. Then she now said, okay, now that we've established this, any quantity you bring, I promise you the next day I will pay you. So that's how I now calculated. Then I was trying to get married, so I was trying to calculate how much I need. So that's how I just estimated, oh, let me get about the 4 million deal. Wow. And that was how I couldn't raise the money. I could only raise, I think, about 1 million. So I now told the woman that I'm going to supply 150 pieces to you, but I will supply half first. I will supply 75 pieces, and after that, 2 weeks then, I will supply the remaining. But I was doing that based on the calculation that it will take me 2 weeks to supply, and if she is giving me the money the very next day, I will send the money back to China to bring the rest. And that was it. I supplied the 75 pieces, but coincidentally, by the time I was to do the second one, China had upgraded their software with a new instruction. I didn't know that this woman already had a ready-made buyer in Gombe that was buying the whole 150 pieces. And I already slotted the new instruction in a paper and put in one of the cartons. And so by the time it landed Gombe and they tried this second 75 pieces and they could not get it working, they said this machine is not working and they returned it back to Jos. And so this woman said, I can't bear the loss. I think that was about 2 million naira worth of goods there. And that was how she sent 65 pieces back to Lagos. I mean, 70 pieces back to Lagos. She kept back 5. And the kind of tension that came on me, it forced me to resign. I had to resign my job. How am I going to
sell this
ones? How am I going to sell this one? And that was it. I now resigned and started trekking around the streets of Lagos, trying to get people to buy this machine. But funny enough, most of these healthcare companies from China already come with this machine. And I was like, how will these people buy a machine from a startup when a whole company with all the financial capacity and attending the business school there, the the person I was teaching them talked about adding value. And that was how I contacted manufacturers in China. I also went to some training with some people, a particular doctor who teaches on how to interpret results. From there, I prepared my manual. Then I went to make a presentation to a particular popular healthcare company, and I met a secretary there who favored me and gave me a book. And that book contains the service centers of that particular network in 36 states. The moment I just sent a bulk SMS that I have a manual that can interpret results, immediately within the next 1 hour, I got up to 25 calls from different states.
Value addition.
And that was when my trekking in Lagos stopped.
So eventually you were able to sell all the machines. So what looked like a misfortune suddenly became your fortune.
Exactly.
All things work together for good to them that love God. That was the tipping point. God just wanted to use that experience to switch you from being a secretary somewhere into starting something. Isn't God wonderful?
Sure.
So sometimes when things happen to us and we don't understand why, we just need to be calm and patient and listen inwards. The Holy Spirit will begin to order our steps and guide us one step at a time into our destinies. If I tell my story, I mean, it's different from his, but the underlying factor is the same thing. I had a challenge in my life. I mean, and that was what switched me from engineering to what I'm doing right now. Now, it was the challenge that he had that also switched him from agric engineering to naturopathic medicine. We'll take a short break right now, and then we will come back to get to know about this machine he's talking about. We have one on display here, but he will tell us whether that was the version that he dealt with in the beginning or whether this is an upgrade. He will tell us all of that when we come back from this break. Don't go away.
Hi, Tony Akinyemi is my name, and I've written about 20 books to date. More are in the offing. Out of the 20 published books, to my credit, 6 of them are on healthy living. And I want to recommend these resources to you, to access them either digitally online or to get your hard copies. For digital access, you can visit amazon.com or familabooks.com. And for physical copies, you can visit the Shepherd stores at 18 Shogunle Street, Abule Onigbagbo off Mobolaji Bankantoni Way, between Eko Hospital and Sheraton Hotel IKEJA to obtain your copy. You can also contact the email address on the screen or the telephone number, or send a WhatsApp message, and you'll be guided as to where to get any of the copies. God bless you as you access these resources. They will inform you, and the information will help to transform your health and that of your family, as well as that of the people in your sphere of influence. God bless you and thank you.
Have you been through stuffs and you survived? Guess what? It's time to set your world on fire. You never know who needs your light, your warmth, and courage. You are a survivor, and that's amazing. I Am a Survivor is of Anthony Akinyemi's newest book. Hurry now, grab a copy from the TSS bookstore.
Welcome back. With me today is Dr. Onyedika Emerwa, an agric engineering graduate that is now a naturopathic doctor, as well as a trainer on a particular device, NLS. Now, in the first part, you were telling us the story of how one seeming misfortune turned things around to become the fortune that we have today. So, I want you to tell us about that particular machine. Is it the same that is sitting here, or is this another version? And how did you get to this if it is not that one?
Okay, this is not the version I came across. This is a more recent version. The one I came across is called 3D Nonlinear System Analyzer. And from time to time, these manufacturing companies, they upgrade it from time to time. They keep adding more features, like maybe adding more disease cases that the machine can diagnose and so on. So, but what really happened was that in one of the times when I was trying to order from my manufacturer, he mistakenly sent the 3D NLS analyzer along. That was how I began to study the machine, and I got to try to get the manufacturer to help me understand how to interpret results. He couldn't help me. I realized that he is just a marketer. But along the line, I stumbled on another manufacturer company that sent me an email, and they were willing to train me on how to use this. Right. So there have been an upgrade over the years, because this was around 2013. And we've had
about 8 years ago.
Yes. We've had 3D, they upgraded to 5D, to 8D, to 9D, and in 2017 we entered what we call 17D non-linear system analyzer. So this machine is actually called a non-linear system analyzer because it is different from the previous machine I mentioned, the quantum resonance magnetic analyzer. That one is an example of a linear system analyzer. When we say linear, the analysis is just straightforward. Tells you conditions that are the organs that are normal and organs that are abnormal. But this, the nonlinear system analyzer, goes beyond telling you abnormal organs and normal organs. It goes further through different means on the inside the machine to diagnose directly what is the disease condition and what are other maybe biochemical parameters of the body that you can find. That's why it's called non-linear system analyzer. You will carry out a series of investigations before you arrive at your conclusion. That's why it's called a non-linear system analyzer.
So from what you're saying, it looks like this machine is more or less like one whole laboratory in one little box.
Yes, I call it a complete lab, because with this machine you can get information about your full blood count.
Wow.
Check your basophils, neutrophils, eosinophils, your lymphocyte level, monocyte level, your erythrocytes, red blood count, your blood sugar level.
Really?
Yes. We will have tumor markers for those who do test for cancer or tumors.
So you mean if somebody has cancer in their body and you run this machine, it can detect it?
Exactly.
Wow.
You can detect it.
That sounds too good to be true.
Someone has cancer of the breast, prostate cancer, prostate enlargement, you will see it by the name really. Although there are some of those disease conditions that it has its medical name, but if you are trained, you will be able to know what the medical name is implying in the colloquial language. That okay, this is talking about cancer of the breast, it's talking about fibroid, malaria, typhoid. You can check all that.
Wow.
SARS.
That's amazing, really amazing. It sounds too good to be true. But you say, well, I believe you because one way or another, in one of my, search in the time I was searching for wellness when I was sick, of course, I visited quite a few clinics abroad in particular, and that was when I came across a particular clinic where they use something similar to this. So that's why I am not entirely surprised, because they ran the scan on me and they were able to tell me a few things, that was so, incredible and very amazing. Right. So, but, this is not a conventional testing device in conventional medicine.
Sure.
This is something in the alternative medical field.
Yes.
Right. Because this has not been accepted in orthodox medicine yet. So, it is in the field of quantum physics and what have you. So now, I want you to just explain in layman's language, don't be too technical, to an average person on the street who is hearing you now, to say, okay, can you tell us the dynamics? How does this machine work? how is it able to detect all these things you're talking about? Is it a witch? How is it able to, what is the scientific explanation in simple layman's language? Right.
All right. Basically, this machine, this technology is a Russian technology. These Russians, we are trying to produce a device that can predict the sub-health condition of a person for the next 3 to 5 years, and the history of the health condition of a person for the past 3 to 5 years. Why? Because they wanted to send astronauts to other planets to check whether other planets are habitable by mankind. And so they needed to send someone who has a clean bill of health. And that's how this technology came about. Now, in the course of their coming about this technology, they started with a particular hypothesis that says that every living organism oscillates at a particular frequency. As in, every living organism functions or operates at a particular frequency.
Right.
So they took 35 years to research the frequency of every organ and tissues
in the human body. 35 years of research.
Yes. And they also studied the frequency of as many parasites, viruses, bacteria, fungi, pathogens, whatever, name them, microorganisms, as many that were existing on Earth. And the frequency at which they operate when they attach themselves to an organ in the body. So they now stored those frequencies inside this device. As they stored it inside this device, whenever it attaches itself on an organ, take for example the liver. If the liver under a healthy condition functions at a frequency of 1.234, we know that, okay, it is fine. While, let's say, the one that causes malaria, Plasmodium falciparum, let's say it functions at a frequency of 0.236. So this machine will check. If they come to test the liver, and the liver is giving a result that is 0.236 or thereabout, not on 1.23 whatever, they come to conclude that this person is no longer functioning on its own natural frequency.
It's frequency of the
parasite. That's how they come to conclude that this person is down with malaria.
Can I interject? You say continue.
Yeah.
Now, let's assume that there are 2 different pathogens attached to the liver. Which of the 2 pathogens frequency will it pick?
Well, what they did was this. They came up with what we call, in science, I read in what we call standard international units.
Okay.
They came up with a particular standard frequency because it's like from their observation, every of these microorganisms, every of these pathogens, viruses, or whatever, when they function, they don't cross a particular frequency.
So they have an upper limit and lower limit.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is what we call 0.425.
Right.
So any particular organ that is going beyond 0.425, that higher than 0.425, may be in a healthy state, in quotes. But anyone that is from 0.425 and below, then they conclude that this organ is already down with this. So they test each of these diseases, the disease names. They have the list in the machine, and so they are testing against each one. If you bring this particular pathogen, you test. They are testing for malaria, they are testing for enteric fever. What is the frequency? Is it below 0.425? If it is, then we conclude that yes, this person is down with this. So that's how they test each of these disease conditions respectively.
Do you know how many diseases have been programmed that this can test? The number 1,500, 1,000?
Like this particular machine has 1,090 precisely.
Different disease conditions. The frequencies of which have been stored. So if it is detected in a person's body, it will pick it and say this disease process is going on in this person's body.
Yes.
So more or less it's a diagnostic tool.
It's a diagnostic tool, right? There is more to it.
You can do more than diagnose.
It can do more than diagnose.
What else can it do apart from diagnosing?
It can do treatment.
Can also do treatment.
Exactly.
That's interesting. Now we're going to go on another short break, and when we come back in the third part, we'll be looking at how does it treat and what are the different treatment options before we round up for today. Don't go away.
How far can you go on your own? How fast can you run on your own? We take you far. We take you high. We make it fast. Divine Impact Summit takes you far, gives you speed. DIS, where divinity meets humanity. Maranatha, the King is coming soon. DIS 2022.
Welcome back. This is Exposè, brought to you by the Shepherd's Club International Church, and I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge. To be informed is to be transformed. To be uninformed is to be deformed. We are bringing you information for your health transformation. On set with me today is Dr. Onyedika, an agric engineer who is now a naturopathic doctor and a specialist in the use of NLS device. And he's also a trainer in training people who may want to acquire and use it either privately for themselves at home or in their medical practice. You know, whether you're a conventional doctor or a naturopathic doctor or whatever it is that you do in the wellness industry, he actually trains people on how to use this device. So now tell us, if somebody comes to you and you run the tests on that individual, you now detect that, okay, this person has this condition and that condition. You say the device can also administer treatment. How do you use this machine to treat? Can you give us one or two examples?
Okay, in layman's language, let me use the example of the aeroplane.
Okay.
Do you notice that the aeroplane is not like
Our cars
on the road? They hardly hit each other on the road.
Right.
And in the air, rather.
Right.
Because they have a particular pathway that they follow.
Yeah.
Longitudinally or latitudinally.
Right.
Okay, so it's like a particular pathway. The same way too, like we mentioned earlier on, each of these pathogens, they have the frequency at which they operate. This is actually a mathematical graph.
Okay.
Like a sinusoidal movement.
You are becoming technical now.
Okay. All right, let me bring it down.
Okay.
It's like following a particular route.
Right.
Okay, and that can only take one way.
Yeah.
All right. Now, a situation whereby you want to cause an accident.
Yeah.
You send
Something
another vehicle
in the opposite direction.
in direct and opposite
On the same pathway.
on the same pathway.
So there's a collision.
There's a collision. Someone is going to die. And it has been programmed in such a way that it is the pathogen
That will
will
die.
die.
So you send a frequency,
A reverse
a frequency
direct opposite reversing frequency
from the machine into the body to collide with the frequency of the particular pathogen.
Exactly.
And then the pathogen explodes
Exactly.
and dies.
So like say plus 1 minus 1.
0.
It's equal to 0.
Neutralized.
It is neutralized. You have neutralized the enemy.
Great.
That is principle behind being able to treat.
Okay, so in other words, the device generates frequencies.
Yes.
That frequency is transmitted into the body. How? Through where?
Okay. We have this headset.
Okay.
It's a very, very powerful, in fact, it's the most important tool.
Right. So the person wears it. Can you wear it and let's see?
Put it on here.
Okay.
And it's able to communicate. You can notice that this cable is on the left side. Now there's somewhere in the brain, the left hemisphere of the brain called the cerebral cortex. That is the medium through which the machine is able to communicate with the organs of the body. They read the frequencies of the body, of each organ and tissues and cells, and they communicate it into the machine. The machine is connected to a laptop that has a software that is able to interpret that. If so and so frequency is this, then it means this person is suffering from this. If this frequency is this, it means this person is okay.
So you then generate an opposite frequency to jam.
Frequency, a reverse frequency to jam.
Okay. Now, in our previous discussion before we came on stage, one of these past discussions we had, you mentioned also that it can prepare homeopathic remedies.
Yes, it can prepare homeopathic remedy. You can also, there are a couple of treatment options, what we call phytotherapy.
That's plant therapy.
Plant therapy. Then we have lithotherapy, that's gemstones therapy.
Right.
You may have seen people who put on certain gemstones that they use to handle certain conditions of the body. This machine does the same work without need for raw material. Just like the same way too, this machine can use the head. Take for example, bitter leaf.
Okay.
It can generate the exact frequency that bitter leaf will generate. Let me put it this way. When you go to the pharmacy and you pick a particular drug, let's say paracetamol, to take care of headache, what happens is that the pharmacist, if you ask the pharmacist, how is this drug able to heal or take away this headache? You may tell you it's a combination of some chemical compound that once you ingest it, it neutralizes the pain and so on. But an energy medicine practitioner will tell you that drug that you took generates a particular frequency. I have had amazing testimony. I had one in 2018. Someone had HIV. Somebody had HIV, and this person is actually the person that brought me was a medical doctor, US trained, to come and train her on how to use this device because she needed it in her own naturopathic clinic. Okay. And while I was, she brought a couple of patients for me to run tests. When I saw that the machine detected HIV, I now had to call the woman outside and told her that, "Ma, this person brought to me has HIV." You know the amazing thing, so I didn't know how to break the news to her. She said, "Relax, I'm not surprised." And there's a reason why she brought her. That from the industry she's running, she just recovered this lady a few weeks ago from a prostitute. She was actually a prostitute.
Wow.
That she's trying to
rehabilitate.
So she is not surprised. She brought another person who has staphylococcus. That one came for counseling because this particular doctor is a genetic expert. So she does all the matchmaking of couples to be genetically compatible.
Right.
So he asked the guy to come. This guy has staphylococcus. And the moment I told the doctor, she said, "No, so I have to tell this guy, right?" As I told him, the first thing he just said, "Please don't tell my fiancé." I said, "Please don't tell my fiancé. I will not lie to you. I used to sleep around, but I just repented. So just allow me, give me time to go and treat myself. Don't need to. My fiancé knows she will break this relationship, and we are close to getting married." I also concerned about the home, but my own job was the testimony of accuracy of the diagnosis. In Onitsha, one time, same in 2018, I went to lecture in a school, and I also supplied the machine to one of my big clients here. And he told me that he wants me to use it to consult for a particular patient. I told them what to pay, so no problem. And she came, she told me her problem that part of her nose, that's she had just been breathing with only one of the nostrils for the past 1 month. and she has not been able to sleep well for the past 2 months. And she has gone to a couple of hospitals, and they told her that it looks like there's a growth, but they're not yet picking it, but she should prepare for surgery. She had gone to another place, they said they didn't know what was going on. So, but that she needs solution. And I said, anyway, I'm not based there. I only came to lecture and you brought your case to me. So, you will stick to these people there to keep coming for treatment.
Right.
But I will run a test to see what's going on. Then I will run the treatment and continue from there. So, fine. And that was how what she was saying, the machine that was seeing the abnormal results and a particular disease name, something has to do with the nasal cavity and so on. And I ran treatment for her. As soon as I was done, I did it 5 sessions according to the instruction. So she was, I said, I'm done. So you continue subsequently with Morgan. So as she was about to stand up like this, so she spoke in Igbo. This blockage has gone. I said, Ma, you are the one that's expensive. I don't have to tell you. It's okay, let's be watching. But I'm surprised. I hope it is for real. So I told her I'm traveling back to Lagos the next day. So she waited until 2 days after when she was sure I was back in Lagos. First thing in the morning, she called me with excitement that thing had gone. Wow. It did not come back again. Something that one knows that she had been breathing with, and she had not been able to sleep well, turning up and down for the past 1 month, but now she is okay. And so she was like, where am I in Lagos? Her husband is coming for medical checkup somewhere in Agbara, that can I come around? I said, okay, no problem and so on. But my excitement was she got the testimony.
Good.
I'll give one more testimony that happened recent.
30 seconds. Go ahead.
This one happened in, I think that was 1 month ago or 2 months ago. One of my youth service schools just called me and said, Papa, I'm like, Papa, I've been having one pain in my hand and so on, and I need you to come and check me. By the time I kept dodging because of familiarity, but she kept insisting. And by the time she came, I saw that from the machine that she had ligament distortions, and she said she didn't hit it anywhere as well. I just gave her some tips that I learned in my doctorate program, but I will run treatment for her. As soon as I just ran treatment for her 5 times, and I said, I'm done. So she said, okay. And she like, Papa, this pain is gone.
It's good.
This pain is gone. So she was the one that said she was going to go and broadcast to many people. I don't know what I have, but I've had goose people just feel me. That's
so dramatic.
And so there are many, so even I myself, I have this kind of banging headache, and you don't know what you have. When I told her I don't have any pain in the back, you have this machine. I just switched it to myself and forgot about it. Next day I just realized that this pain is 30 minutes. And there is now a more recent model called Meta Hunter because this is not Meta Hunter, there's a more recent model that is dedicated for treatment. I used to wonder why manufacturers had the price of that one like double of this one. And that's what they told me is dedicated for treatment.
It doesn't diagnose.
It diagnoses. But when it comes to accuracy of diagnosis, this is small.
Yeah.
But when it comes to treatment, that one, what it does is that it will trace the root cause of the problem as far as the DNA and chromosome and pull it out. It's like you wanting to sweep a dirt. Yeah. But when you open up the hole, it's easy to sweep it out. So it pulls it out, so it makes the symptoms disappear faster.
Great. So if people want to get this or the Meta Hunter,
yes.
How do they get it? They want it either for themselves at home or for their clinic.
Well, for now, by God's grace, I will get there where I have the capacity to stock up because many people are yet to know about this machine. But what I do for most of my clients is they give me the money, give me 2 weeks, I import it from you.
So when they place an order and make a commitment, in 2 weeks they can get it.
Yes.
All right. And then how do they get to know how to use it?
They can get trained. I usually use 5 days to train. Teach you the features and the function of the machine. And then I'll give you some basics of human anatomy, teach you a little about this.
So you don't have to be a doctor, a nurse, pharmacist before you can train?
No. The way they design this, all this equipment, they are good for home use.
Okay.
One thing I know about this stuff is that if you have interest in learning anything,
you can learn anything.
That's how an engineer taught to talk, right?
Very much. This has been a very exciting and interesting conversation today. Looking at the device as small as it is, and with all the features and the capabilities, it's just mind-blowing. I wish that we could see people who will, get scanned and get treated and tell us, wow, the same testimony you share is the same experience I've had. And I know, the bottom line is to get people well, get people feeling good, feeling better, getting fit for themselves. So you can contact Dr. Onyedika by the contact details that we have provided, his website, his WhatsApp number, and you can take it off from there. Whether you are a health practitioner or you just want it for your personal use at home, and I think this is a good opportunity. If somebody can take frequencies into the body, that we do the same work as a pharmaceutical product or a herbal product or a gemstone without necessarily ingesting the material itself into the body. They're just taking the frequency of that particular. When I was reading a little bit about quantum physics, it was very, very exciting and amazing, the kind of things that God has put into nature that we're just discovering one after the other and see how we can take advantage of them for our own good. Thank you for...
I wanted to say one more thing about this machine.
Right.
I used to say this, when I discovered this machine, I used to say that when you hear that someone just dropped it, I just realized that if it's on health ground, it's not supposed to be. If we are proactive to take preventive measure, to always scan our body, to know what is going on, before it gets symptomatic, this machine picks it.
Right.
The moment a pathological process starts, it picks it so that you can do something about it.
And correct it
before
it becomes a monster.
To a state of metastasis.
Right.
And if we do that, we are going to live long by God's grace.
Thank you. So prevention is better than cure. Yes. Probably cheaper.
Yes.
Thank you once again for finding time to be here. I want to thank you all there, viewers, for spending your evening with us. This has been Exposè with Tony Akinyemi, brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge. God bless you and have a terrific evening as well as a wonderful week ahead.